taking a little while to really arrive to your body, choosing a position that feels like is aligned with the needs of your body in this moment. Not what we think meditation should look like, but more this real willingness to meet the moment, which is that intuitive practice of awareness that can show up when we're willing to listen rather than direct. Wherever the body decides it needs to be, let's honor that as much as possible within your own context, environment, and abilities. And then see if it can settle into this sense of contentment, maybe like right now, however I've chosen to be, and in this moment, with this body and all of that, can I just settle here for a little while? And settle doesn't mean stasis. It's just, for me, it means this willingness to not go into the craving mind, the mind that wants more or less or different. And instead kind of really electively repositioning myself over and over again into the mind that's content. Just a boat bobbing on the ocean, not worried about what waves will or will not come next. Just this willingness to be buoyant and held by the moment. Noticing the breath, noticing the points of contact in the body with other parts of the body, with the floor, with a chair, or the bed, or the earth, whatever's there. Just remembering that we're really not separate from anything. And there's this kind of illusion of the space between, but when we look through a microscope, really, really fine microscope, we see that nothing is as solid or immovable or apart as the mind sometimes believes. If it's available to you and feels supportive, maybe letting the breath deepen a little bit, kind of becoming more aware of how you're occupying your body. Sometimes I find I'm not really occupying my body. I'm aware of the body, but I'm not really with it, in it. See if you can really feel a sense of occupation, of embodiment at its heart, this sense of really being with the body. And maybe that invites a shifting of some kind. Just be even more present to the needs and the sensations that are available throughout the body. Welcome an easiness in the breath if that's available. If it's not available, I'm going to invite you to not even think about the breath. The breath, just like anything, each of us has a different relationship with it. So here we're going to just sort of work towards ease in relationship and kind of move towards the things that allow for some easiness. And if there's no easiness there right now, we're not going to push it. It's no problem. Just rest into the sensation of your body in contact with whatever it's in contact with. And again, see if there can be this kind of election towards contentedness, which of course isn't always an easy choice or even feels like it's available. But something that's really incredible about the mind is its capacity for imagination. So what if you imagined contentedness? And without getting too stuck in the word or the defining of it, What might a felt sense of contentedness look like if you tried it on? For me, it's just resting away from all of the things I wish different. And what happens when I wish nothing different in this moment? Just for a little while. And my mind can get caught and hooked there sometimes, because then I can go into these spaces of like, oh, but wishing things different helps change happen. And that's true and beautiful. And at the exact same time, in order for sustained transformation to be possible, we must rest sometimes. Rest in this willingness to just be enough for even just a few moments, let alone minutes. So then, once we kind of rouse ourselves from this more quiet, meditative space, there can be this renewal of spirit and energy ready to come into relationship more peacefully, more presently with change and transformation. And now we choose rest, because we need both. And keep returning into that willingness towards contentedness, even if contentedness feels like a foreign territory that's never been explored. If you haven't closed the eyes yet, close them if that's okay. Or at the very least, let the gaze feel soft. Our sense of vision and seeing is so powerful. So it can feel really restful, even just to shroud the gaze for a little while and turn the vision inward in a different kind of way. Resting into presence. What could that look like for you? Sometimes for me, it's something as simple as turning the hands palms up so the hands are really, really relaxed. The wrists have more of an opportunity to feel heavy. For me, sometimes too, it's a real softening of the expression on my face. Thinking mind often creates contortions and constrictions in my jaw and my face. And as we move into this relationship with contentedness, see if all of ourselves can be brought in there too. Something that my craving mind likes to conjure is all the ways I should be different. All the ways my body should be different, my mind, my heart, my environment. And in practices like these, I work to walk into a place where I can just be okay with myself, all of myself for a while. And again, it's not this kind of complacency and then this inertia and this unwillingness toward change. It's like this collection of myself into myself with love, so that when parts of myself need to shift or move, they can do so with greater grace and clarity. But for right now, I get to just collect myself in close if I choose. And for me, it's helpful to even say to myself, like, right now, You are enough. You're doing enough. This body that's here, it's enough. The mind and the heart are enough. This moment can be enough. And sometimes if the mind is in a really powerful craving space, it will debunk all of those as quickly as possible. Will fire off all of the reasons I am not enough. So again and again, I'll just return to that anchoring phrase and work into believing it to be true in this moment. Even if parts of me are in deep resistance to its truth. I am enough right now. My body is enough. My mind, my heart are enough right now. This moment is enough. I'm allowed to feel contented in this moment. Allowed to be content in this moment. Breathing here softly, or just kind of floating here softly in the beautiful mind, body, heart complex. Just keep letting words like that wash over you and through you if it's helpful and if you're willing to receive them. And honestly, there's some days I'm not willing to receive them and I say them anyway. Because even those messages that don't want to fully take root in the moment, they plant a seed inside of myself that blooms sometimes in the most unexpected times and places when they're needed most. When that kind of crushing sense of inadequacy or just exhaustion of the trying, doing all the time creeps in. Those words can just kind of bubble up. And I can ask myself that question again. What if I wished nothing different in this moment? And what if for the next few minutes I keep wishing nothing different? What kind of restfulness and restoration might that offer? So that when I move out into the worlds around me, my capacity for transformation is actually even greater. So let's just sit here together quietly for 3 more minutes. Keep anchoring back into that space of contentedness. That space of being enough. moment is enough.